So, welcome back. And what we're doing in this video here, as you all know, I put up a video sometime back about Rolling Stone's top 250 guitar players, which was an absolute sham, an absolute joke, a travesty to say the least. So I did another video and I thought, man, surely to God, we can do better as YouTubers. And I asked for you all to send me your top 5 or whatever, top 5, top 10, top 15 guitar players, to send it to me across either one of the two videos, my email, and actually I had some come across my Instagram. And of course, I have a lot of people that I know who watch my channel, so they just sent me text messages. So we ended up with right around 200 entries, which is more than enough to take a sample poll. They do presidential polls. They do presidential polls with a lot less than that. They'll survey 50 people and then come out and say, oh, so-and-so's ahead by 400 points. So I was hoping that we'd get at least 200, and we ended up like at 198 or something like that. So close enough, and it does work. So that is more than enough. Kind of surprised me. Some of the picks kind of surprised me. Some of them did not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my comments to a minimum, and we're going to compare theirs to ours, starting at number 50, going down the list. I am going to be moving pretty quick through the first quite a few of them, and won't really start getting into the comments too heavy until we start getting closer towards the end, but there are some that I am going to have to comment on as we move through. But I am going to move through pretty quick. So first off, I want to thank everybody who sent me their list. Very cool. I appreciate you guys doing that, because I was really kind of curious how we would stack up. Now, I'm going to assume everybody that sent us this list is an actual guitar player, unlike the people at Rolling Stone. And I kind of had an idea. Pretty much everybody that I thought would be in the top 50, but maybe just a couple were in the top 50. So it kind of shows you that we all think alike when we think about great guitar players. And I got a lot of very cool comments on the videos, but I got a lot of people, oh, dude, you're just a shredhead. You're from 1980, blah, 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 blah. Well, apparently so was everybody else. So, because the people who I kind of pretty much thought would make it in the top 50, made it into the top 50. But what is very cool is a lot of blues players. You guys picked a lot of blues players, and I thought that was very, very, very cool. It wasn't just all shred guys. And like I said, shred is kind of a blanket term nowadays. Blues guys shred, jazz guys shred. It just doesn't mean, sitting at a guitar and playing a bazillion notes a minute. Dude, if you can play guitar and you can rip on it, you can shred. Plain and simple. Enough of that. Moving on. Here we go. Going to move through these first quite a few pretty quick. At number 50, Rolling Stones has Elmore James. I had to look at that one again. At number 50 on our list, we have Eric Clapton. Got to admit, I did not think he would break the top 50. I think Eric Clapton is the most overrated guitar player in the world. I'm not knocking his talent. I just think there's much better guitar players out there. So you all surprised me on that one. He did crack it. Moving on. Number 49, Rolling Stone Disaster has P.J. Harvey. At number 49, we have Leslie West. Pretty sure a better guitar player. Moving through, number 48, load page, Rolling Stone, Curtis Mayfield. On our YouTube list, Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Very cool. At number 47, Rolling Stone has The Edge. Didn't even make our list at all. We were a little short. We ended up right below 100 different guitar players when it was all said and done total. And actually, I'm sorry, it was right around 90. Yeah, right around 90 when it was all said and done total. The Edge didn't even make it. I was not surprised. I did not think The Edge would. So at number 47, they put The Edge. We put George Lynch. Much better guitar player than The Edge. At number 46, they put Frank Zappa. We put in Steve Morse. At number 45, I don't know if it's this crappy web page or this crappy Mac computer that is loading so slow. I'm going to say it's my crappy Mac computer. At 45, they have Steve Cropper. We have B.B. King, who's a monster. At 47, they have Johnny Ramone. We have Joe Bonamassa, who's also a monster. This guy, I was watching this thing, I think it's on YouTube. They did a little documentary about him, and they're showing his Les Paul collection, which is just phenomenal. This guy's Les Paul collection, it literally masters Sweetwater's guitar collection. It's insane, the Les Pauls this guy's got. But he plays this little riff. And one of the hardest things I think to do in the world playing guitar is 2 note per string runs. That's very hard because you got a tremendous amount of movement this way very quick. And it's not like sweep picking where it's just, it's, you know, this guy was, he goes, 2 notes per string. I can't do that. I can tell you that right now. I can't do that fast. Watching him do that, staggering how fast this guy is, and a monster guitar player. Number 43, Rolling Stone. The stupid duos. This duo thing was just stupid that they did. Johnny Greenwood and Ed O'Brien at number 43. We have Slash. I got to admit, I thought Slash would show up a little bit better, but he's in our top 50, so that is cool. As long as he made our top 50, I'm good with it. Number 42, they have Vernon Reid, who amazingly did not make our list at all. Vernon Reid is a monster. We picked Roy Clark. You can't deny that. Roy Clark in our top 50. You cannot deny that. Roy Clark's a man. At number 41, Bo Diddley, we have Larry Carlton. At number 40, they have John Fahey. We have Pat Metheny. Metheny? One or the other. Sounds like I got a lisp. Metheny. Sounds like I have a lisp. At number 39, now they have Chet Atkins. It surprised me this guy did not make our list at all. And I got to admit, I didn't vote for him either. But I literally watched this guy play 2 songs at the same time. I think I mentioned it in the last video. It was insane. Chet Atkins is just, this guy is a monster, man. He's an absolute monster. But I can't complain because I didn't vote for him either. And apparently, neither did anybody else. At number 39, we have Mr. Zakk Wylde. That is right. The epitome of pentatonic shredding. The epitome. And let's be honest. If you want to shred or not, I don't care what you do. But let's truly be honest. You can play 95% of every guitar solo in this world in the pentatonic scale. You can waste the rest of your life learning all the other scales. Most of all, everything you can play in the pentatonic scale. Let's be honest. Number 38, Angus Young and Malcolm Young, another ignorant duo. Not them, the fact that Rolling Stone made them a duo. 2 totally different guitar players. Beyond stupid, but it is Rolling Stone. At our number 38, we have Mr. Eric Johnson. I can't remember where he placed in Rolling Stones, but it was way down the list. It was like number 4,658 on their list, even though they only had 250. Number 37, they had Pete Townsend, who did not make our list at all. Not surprised by that whatsoever. I knew he would not make our list. We have Greg Howe, to where they have Mr. Pete Townsend. At number 36, they have Elizabeth Cotton, never heard of her. We have Paca de Lucia. Moving quickly, at number 35, they have Eric Clapton. I did not think he would make our list at all. Kind of shocked me. We have Molly Tuttle at number 35. Moving down, at 34, Jerry Garcia did not make our list at all. No surprise, we have Al Di Meola. Al Di Meola. Why do I have such a hard time saying that? Al Di Meola. It doesn't roll off my tongue at all. Al Di Meola. Dimola. I like Dimola better. Al Di Meola. At number 34, they have Jerry Garcia. Didn't make our list at all. At number 33, they have Mr. Brian May. We have Mr. Alvin Lee on our list. At number 32, this guy did not make our list at all. I was not surprised. I'm surprised he makes any list ever, and that is Jack White. You've got to be shitting me. Jack White. Give me a break, dude. Where are they at? Number 32, they had Jack White. We have Carlos Santana, who I will tell you right now is a much better guitar player than Jack White. Moving down, number 31, they have George Harrison. Did not make our list at all. We have Frank Zappa. At number 30, Neil Young. For Neil Young to be in a top 50 guitar list is astounding by itself. For him to be on any guitar list is astounding by itself. Once again, nobody even mentioned his name. He wasn't even a whisper on our list. They have a number 30. They have Neil Young. We have Ritchie Blackmore. Who's better? Neil Young, Ritchie Blackmore. Yeah, Ritchie Blackmore. By far. Let's see. Number 29, they have Eddie Hazel, Maggot Brain. On our number 29 list, we have Derek Trucks. Like I said, pretty cool. A lot of blues guys in here, which kind of surprised me. I did not think there's be this many blues guys in here, but y'all did a fantastic job on doing the blues guys. Fantastic. Number 28, they have the man, the myth, the legend, David Gilmour, we have Joe Pass on number 28 on our list. David Gilmour at 28. I mean, yeah, there's nothing you can even say about that. How do you put David Gilmour at number 28? Probably one of the most, not probably, he is literally one of the most influential guitar players ever, since the beginning of time. Adam and Eve, David Gilmour, influential guitar player, and they put him at 28. Shocking to me. Shocking, I say. Absolutely shocking. Joe Pass at number 27. They have Buddy Guy. Buddy Guy is badass. We have my man, Alex Lifeson. That is correct. He was actually in my top 5, Alex Lifeson. I kind of was hoping he'd be a little higher up on the list. There again, I think Alex Lifeson is probably the most underrated guitar player ever, man. This guy is a monster, and he's such a chaotic guitar player. And if you took Rush and you removed Alex Lifeson, it simply would not work. It would not work. It's his chaotic playing that makes it what it is. It's just fantastic, man. Love Alex Lifeson. But he didn't make our top 50 where he should have been all along. Moving on to number 26, they have St. Vincent. Didn't even mention them in our list whatsoever. We have Michael Schenker. Schenker. We have Michael Schenker. Okay, going down at 25, John Frusciante. He did make our list, but he did not make our top 50. So to all your Frusciante friends, don't get upset at me. I'm just a guy plugging in numbers. That's all it is. We have from Boston, Tom Schultz, who I love. Man, Boston was a great band, dude. They are the epitome of corporate rock. I love Boston. They were just fantastic. At number 24, they have James Burton. James Burton. We have Tommy Emmanuel at number 24. At number 23, of course, they do the idiotic Rolling Stone duo, James Hetfield and Kurt Hammett, two totally different guitar players. You cannot group them together. You cannot say both of them are number 23. That is absolutely stupid, but what do you expect from a bunch of clowns that work at Rolling Stone that play no instruments? They can't be guitarists, because no guitarist in their right mind would say, hey, let's take two completely different guitar players and let's put them together and call them one. What a bunch of morons, man. At 23, we have Wes Montgomery. Pretty good. Pretty cool. Coming in, number 22, they have Albert King. He is a beast all by himself. We have John McLaughlin at number 22. Kicking down the list. Now, this one kind of surprised me. Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of this backwards. It surprised me on their list. I started to say our list. They got Randy Rhoads at number 21. That is absolutely stunning to me, shocking to me. One of the greatest guitar players ever, influenced an entire generation of guitar players, and still influences them till this day. And I've said this before, there's not a year goes by that somewhere in this country there's not a Randy Rhoads tribute going on. This guy only put out 2 albums and influenced millions of people. And I don't care what you say, I love Zakk Wylde. But Ozzy's best 2 albums are the 2 with Randy Rhoads, Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. And I'm going to get into that more in a different video about Randy Rhoads, because there's some really cool things that I just want to talk about with Mr. Rhoads, who is a beast. We have Paul Gilbert. They have Randy Rhoads. We have Paul Gilbert. Now, that's not saying that Paul Gilbert is ranking higher. Remember, we have not finished our list. A lot of these people they have way down here, we've got higher up on the list. This is just where we've listed our top 50 to show you how smart we are against how ignorant they are. And say whatever you want to say. They were ignorant. They were boneheads. Randy Rhoads at 21. Give me a break. At number 20, they have Stevie Ray Vaughan. We have Tony Iommi. Stevie Ray, great guitar player. Iommi, great guitar player. Number 19, they have Freddie King. We have Django Reinhardt. That's right. The guy could probably outplay all of us with one finger. Literally. Moving down the list, number 18, Tom Morello did not make our list at all, was not even a mention. We have George Benson. And like I said, it is pretty cool, the variety of players that we have. But we didn't pick them because, oh, everybody needs a trophy. We picked them because of their talent. So very cool. And I'm not saying Tom Morello's not talented, but let's be honest, these guitar players are better guitar players than Tom Morello. And I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking Tom Morello before you all jump on my back. I'm not saying that whatsoever. You can't be the best at everything because no matter how good you are, there's a whole ton of people that are better, period. All right, Tom Morello. At number 17, they got Mother Maybelle Carter, who they're saying is better than Randy Rhoads. Yeah, at number 17, we got Roy Gallagher. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Roy's a little better than Mother Maybelle Carter. Yeah, he's better. All right, here we're getting down into it now. Moving down to number 16, they have Robert Johnson, who is a legend, again, in his own right. We have Neil Schon. Kind of curious what's going to happen about Journey. You know, I did that video, the singer who Steve Perry, and boy, did I piss a lot of people off. I mean, I pissed a lot of people off. Man, I've gotten death threats. People tell me I was a moron, that my children are flipper babies. I mean, man, it was insane, but equally just as much fun. But if you've not heard Dean Castronovo sing, you cannot sit there and say he's not as good as Steve Perry just because of that one song. Listen to his solo stuff. His solo stuff is astounding. This dude can absolutely freaking rip. He is a monster musician and a masterful drummer. And so I know this is about Neil Schon, but that just clicked in my head when we did that. But yeah, I'm kind of curious about the history of what's going to happen to what's left of Journey coming down the road, because I think Journey's on the verge of having a little bit of a collapse from things that I've read, things that I've seen, that, because Neil Schon is apparently suing everybody, and he doesn't like, that a couple of the guys in the band apparently are Christians. He doesn't like that. I don't know the whole story. I've read bits and pieces, but I'm going to figure that out. Because I got to be honest, man, if I'm in a band with a bunch of people and we all get along and write great music, I don't give a shit what you believe. I could care less. That's your personal opinion. That's your God-given right to believe what you want to believe. God gave everybody one thing, free will. And if you believe in God or not, he gave you the right to do that. So you do whatever you want to do. I don't care. If you're in a band and y'all make great music, just shut up and move on with your life, man. Just let it roll. Just let it roll. Don't be a dork. Enough of us dorks out there like me. So we got Neil Schon going into number 15, Keith Richards, who did not make our list whatsoever. Not surprised by that whatsoever, because I can probably name 1,000 guitar players better than Keith Richards. We've got John 5. So now we're getting close to the end, so here come the comments. So you can berate me all you want for talking too much, but yeah, got to do it, man. Got to do it. John 5. There are two guys. Either John 5 and Buckethead share the same mother, which I'm thoroughly convinced that they do, or they both come from the Planet X. Because these guys are actually and I'm not saying they're identical guitar players, but they're very similar in their abilities. These guys can literally play any type of music anywhere at any time. John 5 or Buckethead could go play a blues gig, literally walk out, go play a jazz gig, walk out, go play a country gig, walk out, go play a metal gig. It doesn't matter. These guys can do it all. And I'm convinced the reason Buckethead wears a bucket is because he looks like John 5 because they're brothers. Can't convince me otherwise. Jesus. Oh my God, we're going into the holidays, dude, and I'm so stressed out if you couldn't tell. So stressed out. I am leaving here and heading into the wood shop because I've got so much stuff. Pretty cool for Christmas this year. My wife wanted to give everybody things that we made. So number 14. Now, number 14, they got number 14. They got Prince. I was surprised, and I can't say anything again because I did not vote for him. But Prince didn't make our list at all. I thought for sure somebody would vote him for Prince. Now, if we were doing the top 250 musicians of all time, no doubt in my mind, Prince would be in the top 10. But on the guitar players, I kind of understand. So, but Prince is a beast, man. He's one of a kind. But in its place, we have Mr. Mark Knopfler, whom I absolutely love. This guy is a monster guitar player and a monster songwriter. He wrote the soundtrack for The Princess Bride. One of the greatest movies of all time, The Princess Bride. I mean, that's one of those movies when you're flipping through the channels and it's on, you just kind of stop and watch it. He did a soundtrack for that. And Mark Knopfler is an absolute beast. And a quick story. And yes, that's right. It's story time. We're in the top 20. It's story time. And I think I've told this before. One of my friends, he got married to this old girl named Maria, sweet girl. And they've been married for years now, several years. But he texts me, and he's like, oh, my God, dude, da-da-da-da. I just had dinner, blah, 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 with Maria and her family, and a lot of her family is from across the pond. He's like, you're never going to believe who I had dinner with. And I don't know, man, the Queen of England? Who? Mark Knopfler. And I was like, you freaking, you're just now texting me this, asking for a guitar. And I mean, the dude went on that dinner with Mark Knopfler, and he texted me after the meal is over. And Mark Knopfler, I love Mark Knopfler, dude. Absolutely love this guy. And all I could think of to say was, ask him for a guitar. I would never play it, but it would look pretty cool hanging on my wall. Hey, this is Mark Knopfler's guitar. This is his guitar. That would look very cool on my wall. So Mark Knopfler, and your latest trick on the Brothers of Arms album. Listen to your latest trick. I'm actually doing a video on that. Absolutely amazing song. If you're kind of into that jazz, that slow, cool jazz, modern jazz thing, listen to your latest trick. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant song. So moving on, at number 13, they have Tony Iommi. Now, he was back on our list a bit. Excellent guitar player, but of course, we have Mr. Guthrie Govan. This guy's a freak. Guthrie Govan is an absolute freak. How this guy is not as big as Steve Vai, I don't understand why. Maybe it's just because he hasn't really done the branding work Steve Vai has, because, you know, Steve Vai, I mean, come on, he played with David Lee Roth, he played with Whitesnake, I mean, the guy's played with everybody in the world. Hell, even when I went to school, my classical guitar teacher actually played with Steve Vai. Steve Vai's played with everybody, even people you know. Shit, he's probably played with your mom at one point or another, or your dad. You just don't know because they don't, because they don't think anything about it. But Steve Vai's played with somebody you know, guarantee it. And that's what's built his brand over the years. And I guess Guthrie Govan just hasn't really taken that step. But Guthrie Govan is a freak of nature on a guitar, man. This guy he's insane. And we got him at number 13. And I think that fits, and you're getting ready to see why. Because here's where we got, from about 14, Mark Knopfler. Now, don't get me wrong, all these guys are great. This is where it really got serious on our list. And this shows you how much better of a list we compiled than Rolling Stone. It is a no-brainer that what we did is vastly better than Rolling Stone, and we know what we're talking about. So we got Guthrie Govan. They got Tony Iommi. We got Guthrie Govan. Now, getting into number 12, they have Jimmy Nolan. We have Mr. Joe Satriani. That is correct. The Godfather. The Godfather, Joe Satriani. And here's a pretty cool thing about this. Joe Satriani, who's touring with oh my God, Sammy Hagar. The guy that I close my videos out with every day is a quote from Sammy Hagar, and I can't remember his name. Touring with Sammy Hagar, they're doing this Van Halen thing they got going on. But it's really cool because if you look at their list where all these guys placed, Satriani, Kurt Hammett, and Steve Vai, then look on our list where we've got them placed, much, much, much higher, obviously. But Joe Satriani taught all these guys. But in the scheme of everything, they've kind of shifted places, because I would put Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, than Kurt Hammett. Of course, he's taught a lot more people than those two guys. But these are the guys that everybody knows, because the student has become the master. And because Steve Vai is so eccentric, and I think that has a lot to do with it. Besides the guy's a man, I love Steve Vai. Love Steve Vai, man. But he's just so eccentric. And it's kind of like Alex Lifeson. He's so reckless when he plays. He's so chaotic, and he's so all over the place, and that works. And Steve Vai, you can hear his eccentricities come out in his music. And it's just, I think that's why he's just kind of nudging over the other two. And you got Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, then you got Hammett, which is, as you're going to see, how we got them listed. That doesn't surprise me at all. Coming in at number 11 on the Rolling Stone list, they have Carlos Santana. He did make our list, of course. We've got Mr. Jimmy Page. And absolute great songwriter. I love Jimmy Page. I don't know personally if I would have put him at 11. I can't argue the point because you all did. He wasn't on my top 5, but I do love Jimmy Page. On my list, he'd probably been a little lower. But, like I said, the guy's an amazing songwriter, And I mean, him and Plant, 15 minutes, they hammered out Stairway to Heaven. I can't even conceive hammering out a Stairway to Heaven in 15 minutes. I can't even make a stairway to my garage in 15 minutes, let alone to heaven. That's a lot of stairs, man. So moving on, number 10, Duane Allman. Fantastic. They have Duane Allman. We got Jeff Beck. And it's pretty cool. I think those two match up really, really well. I'm kind of surprised. I think they match up really well. Jeff Beck plays with his fingers, man. Jeff Beck is a beast. At number 9, they have Joni Mitchell. Now, Joni Mitchell didn't make our list. She did not break our top 50, which she shouldn't have. We got John Petrucci, who they did not even put on their list. John Petrucci in my opinion, is the most technically proficient guitar player alive today. This guy is sick. He's absolutely sick. And what he plays is near perfection every single time. It's insane watching this guy play. And there's very few bands that I think the entire bands are just maestros, masters of their craft. Masters of their craft. Dream Theater is one of those bands. Rush was one of those bands. Led Zeppelin was one of those bands. Nickelback will never be one of those bands, ever. So, well, we got Petrucci, they got Joni Mitchell. And I'm not knocking Joni Mitchell, but I do think Petrucci's a better guitar player. Just my own opinion. I could be wrong. Coming down, number 8, they got Mr. B.B. King, a monster guitar player, and we have Steve Vai. And like I said, see, how I think about these 3 guitar players, Hammett, Satriani, and Vai, is exactly how we listed them. So it goes to show you that we, guitar players, we know what we're talking about, as opposed to Rolling Stone, who has no idea what they're talking about. We all think alike. We understand the dedication, the work, and the skill of these guys. Rolling Stone was so far removed from the everybody gets a trophy. Everybody gets a trophy. You get a trophy. You get a trophy. They're like the Oprah of trophies. You get a trophy. They were just giving trophies out to everybody. Paul McCartney on the 250 guitar player list. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He wouldn't even be on my 250 bass player list, let alone the damn guitar list. So it just goes to show you how much smarter we are when it comes to guitars and talent than Rolling Stone. Dude, I am ranting today. Oh my God. Christmas, man. Stressed out, bro. Christmas. Number 7, they have Nile Rodgers, who did not make our list, but did he make our list? I cannot remember. I do not think Nile Rodgers made our list. Let me kick down through the rest of our list right here real quick. Blah 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 blah. No, Nile Rodgers did not make our list. And you know, Nile Rodgers, he's a badass. He's a badass. He didn't make our list. Well, I can't say anything. At number 7, we have Mr. SRV, Mr. Stevie Ray Vaughan, who is a guitar god in his own right. Like I said, a lot of blues guys, which was very, very cool. At number 6, they have Sister Rosetta Tharpe. Sister Rosetta Tharpe. 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 We have Yngwie Malmsteen, or as I like to say, Yngwie. Now, love Yngwie or hate Yngwie, you can't deny the guy's ability. Now, this whole neoclassical thing is, you know, it's cool to a point, and it's, if you've never listened to, and I think I've said this before, if you've never listened to the Beethoven piano sonatas, you got to do that. I mean, it's life-changing music, and it's important music. The Beethoven sonatas are important music, and it's absolutely life-changing. I can't put into words the piano sonatas from Beethoven. I can't sit and listen to Yngwie for like an hour. I can't do that. I respect his talent. I mean, his talent's immense. There's no doubt about it. But I could probably listen to the other 49, except maybe Eric Clapton, guitar players on here for hours, but not Yngwie. I appreciate his talent. You cannot deny his talent. And I'm sure he influenced a lot of guys. But after about 30 minutes, you're kind of tired of listening to Yngwie. But the guy's a beast. They got Sister Tharpe. We got Yngwie Malmsteen. Here we go. Breaking into our top 5. That is correct. Top 5. This one kind of shocked me a little bit. Not this. They've got Jeff Beck. He's a little further back on our list. We got Mr. Randy Rhoads. I got to be honest. I thought he would be top 3. Randy Rhoads was my number 1 pick. My number 1 guy. My number 1 guy was Randy Rhoads. I thought he would be in the top 3. You all voted me down. You put him at number 5. I cannot complain because the guys above him are just, well, you'll see. But Randy Rhoads is one of the most important guitar players of our lifetime. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. Here we are, how many years later, and every year there's still a Randy Rhoads tribute somewhere to this guy. This guy absolutely added so much to the sound of rock and roll back in the 80s when we had, you know, Poisons and Bon Jovis and, well, Rad DeMartini is a beast, But, we had Rat, and we had all this, Enough's Enough, whatever the hell that is, all that going on. In walks Randy Rhoads. This guy weighs like 42 pounds, soaking wet. He's like 3'4". The guitar was bigger than Randy Rhoads. He had to hold it like this. And just changes everything. Rozzy Osbourne was on the skids at that point. And as you know, everybody knows the story, going through the remake, yada, yada, and in walks Randy Rhoads. And the amazing thing, if you listen, Ozzy Osbourne was what Randy Rhoads needed to become Randy Rhoads. What do I mean by that? More on this in a different video coming up. But if you listen to Quiet Riot, that was it. Golly day, just completely slipped my mind. But if you listen to Randy with Quiet Riot, and he was kind of doubling the same time with Ozzy, and listen to the difference in the guitar playing. It's not even the same guy. I mean, it's shocking the difference between Quiet Riot and Ozzy Osbourne. Absolutely stunning the difference. And Ozzy needed Randy to get out of that hole. And man, did they come out, dude. They come out punching. Randy needed Ozzy to let him turn into Randy Rhoads. And Randy Rhoads is just, he's one of the all-time greats. Without a doubt, one of the all-time greats. Moving on, I've talked enough about that. Coming in at number 4, they have Eddie Van Halen, idiots, absolute idiots. We have Jimi Hendrix. This does not surprise me at all. I did not honestly think Jimi Hendrix would make our top 3. I knew he would be top 10. I was pretty sure he would be top 5. I did not think he would make top 3. I'm so tired of everybody putting Jimi Hendrix at number 1 as if after all these years, there's never been a better guitar player than Jimi Hendrix. And I strongly disagree. Because, like I said, he wasn't in my top 5, and I love Jimi Hendrix. I'm not knocking Jimi Hendrix, but I'm sick and tired of it. Jimi Hendrix was the greatest of all time. No, he wasn't. He wasn't close to the greatest of all time. Jimi Hendrix, he's a beast. Man, if you listen to his stuff, the guy was doing things nobody was doing. But there are a lot of guitar players who are doing things that nobody was doing at the time. And there's a lot more, there's just, you can't sit there and say, and I guess this is where the argument really comes in, is you can't sit there and say, well, Jimi Hendrix is the greatest of all time. Greatest of what? Greatest of what? I want to see Jimi Hendrix play Eruption. Not going to happen. I don't give a shit how hard he tries. Not going to happen. But on the flip side, is Randy Rhoads going to play Little Wing like Jimi Hendrix? Probably not. It would be Randy Rhoads because he's Randy Rhoads. And he would do something totally different with it. And Jimi Hendrix may do something totally different with Eruption. But it wouldn't even be on the same scale as what EVH did with Eruption. So, and it's, like I said, I'm not knocking Jimi Hendrix, but he's not the greatest guitar player of all time. I am sorry. And apparently everybody agrees because he ended up at number 4. So you can't bitch at me. You got to bitch at everybody else. So, but I agree with this. I agree with this 100%. I think Randy Rhoads should have been in front of Jimi Hendrix, my personal opinion. But I agree that he's not in the top 3 because I would not have put him in the top 3. So here we go, getting down to the nitty-gritty, the top 3, the gold medal, the silver medal, and the bronze. At number 3, they put in Jimmy Page, and we stuck Jimmy Page at number 11. We have where he should be in the top 3, Mr. David Gilmour. Give me a break. This guy's a top 3 guitar player since he was born. Since he was born, he was in the top 3. There would be no Pink Floyd at all without David Gilmour. David Gilmour absolutely changed the sound of Pink Floyd. Listen to pre-David Gilmour with Syd Barrett. Listen to post-David Gilmour and compare the two. The first was a drugged-out trip of psychedelic fantasy noise. The second was art. Literally art. This guy changed the sonic landscape of music single-handedly. Remember what I said? There were other people doing things nobody done before? Yeah, David Gilmour. Yeah, he's one of them. How this guy hears what he hears is beyond me. Now, we all have sounds in our head, and we all have these dreams of grandeur of writing this one epic freaking song This guy wrote epic song after epic song after epic song after epic song after epic song, and I could sit for 4 hours and say that. He is, without a doubt, one of the greatest guitar players to ever grace God's earth. Deserves to be in the top 3, no doubt about it. Congratulations to all of you all for putting him where he belongs in the top 3. It is David Gilmour. Going down to number 2, Rolling Stones, pathetic listing. Absolute joke. They put Chuck Berry at number 2. Are you kidding me? Here's the big one, boys. Oh, I need to add a drum roll to my thing. That's not it. Not really a drum roll, but still. It's the closest thing I got. I don't even know what all sounds are on this thing. Oh, Zonkers. At number 2. Ooh, hang on. They put Chuck Berry. It works out great right there. Are you ready for this? They did not even put this guy in the list. Gary Moore. That is correct. Gary Moore, number 2. Number 2. I was so happy to see this. He's in my top 3. I was so happy to see this, and it was shocking. I don't know the vote totals because this doesn't show me the exact votes, but I do know we were within votes of the top 3. I mean votes. I mean, one more vote and it changes the places. 1, 2, and 3 were like, dude, they were like boom, boom, boom. They were extremely close. Gilmour at number 3, Gary Moore at number 2. Gary Moore is a magical musical beast. This guy, I think the 2 most melodic guitar players in this world are Gary Moore and David Gilmour, both who happen to be in the top 3. Gary Moore is an absolute monster, and it was a travesty Rolling Stone did not put him on their top 50 list. An absolute travesty they did not put him there. Still Got the Blues, one of my favorite albums of all times. Maybe because after all these years, what did it come out in 82, 83, something like that? Maybe because after all these years, I still got the damn blues. Every time I hear him, I get the blues. I love Gary Moore. And dude, this song, Still Got the Blues, is probably the most copied song on YouTube ever. I have seen 5,000 people on YouTube release their version of Still Got the Blues. The song is that incredible. So at number 2, Gary Moore, thank you all for showing Rolling Stone how ignorant they truly are. And coming in at number 1, the gold medal, and this is going to be a surprise to nobody, and you all already know who it is. That is right. It is the man, the rock god, the legend, Mr. Eddie Van Halen. Where he should be. I don't care what you think, feel, or say. You cannot deny the power that is Eddie Van Halen. This guy literally changed the landscape of music. This guy made every single guitar player in the late 70s stop what they were doing and go relearn the guitar. Because Eddie Van Halen was coming out swinging and knocking heads off of everybody. And I don't want to hear, well, it just wasn't my type of style, which means Eddie Van Halen was beating that ass. That's what it means. And the thing I love most about it is when all these guitar players, all these monster guitar players just boom, 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 boom. The big scrap, the mano a mano, the fisticuffs was between Randy Rhoads and Eddie Van Halen. Because those two guys were dominating the guitar scene back then. Absolutely dominating. So I'm kind of surprised that just... And here's the thing, Randy Rhoads, well, we got him at number 5, but I don't know who I would have moved out of the top 3 to put him in, because these guys are absolutely phenomenal. And to put the best guitar player, the most influential guitar player in this world is Eddie Van Halen. You cannot deny that. To put him where he belongs is at number 1 is without a doubt the smartest thing, period. Rolling Stone is an embarrassment. This is a guitar list. This is how it should have been. This is what Rolling Stone should have done. Now, granted, you can simply argue the point It should have been broken up into categories because the blues guys don't play shred guys don't play rock guys don't play jazz, and that is true, but that would be hard, and that would take a lot of time. So doing this, with putting EVH at number 1, where he rightfully belongs, the master, the king, sitting on top of the throne, the gold medal winner, Eddie Van Halen. His body of work is undeniable. His guitar technique is undeniable. His proficiency is undeniable. And of all the things that he's amazing at, my favorite thing about Eddie Van Halen is his riff writing. This guy is without a doubt the best rhythm guitar player ever. Nobody is a better rhythm guitar player than Eddie. Forget all the masterful solos. Forget all that. We already know that. Eddie Van Halen, great soloist, that comes with it. He is a master rhythm guitar player. That by itself gives him the number 1 spot. Forget all the other things that come with it. So that is our list compared to Rolling Stones. Without a doubt, our list is worlds better than Rolling Stone. They missed by a mile, and I honestly think we absolutely hit the nail dead on the head. This is what a top 50 guitar list should look like, from actual players and people who listen to the music, not a bunch of morons sitting in the office passing out trophies. So if you've made it to the end of the video, congratulations. Please subscribe to my channel and please like the video. I'm not going to throw up stats at this point, but I'm going to on one of my videos. I got videos with, it'll have 16,000 views and 285 likes. Please like the video. Even if you don't subscribe, like the video, because that's what gets it out to people. The more it's liked, the more people get to see it. If you get a chance, please share the video. And like I said, please subscribe if you get a chance, if you like the kind of stuff that I do, which I do a lot of different stuff on this channel. But until then, we're going to wrap it up right there. And on that note, like the great Sammy Hagar says, if you miss the beat, you lose the rhythm and nothing falls into place. And no matter what you do, for the love of God, rock on.